Hello.
All right, John. How's it going?
Good.
How's your day going today, sir?
Good. Thank you.
Okay, right on. All right, so let's go ahead and get this interview started. I know you have a lot of things to do, my friend. Um, for all the people that don't know this gentleman, this is Mr. John Potash. I'm pretty sure we all know who he is. Everybody on this channel is a big fan of yours, John,
Thank you.
and they love your books.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So, can you, just uh, get it started for us and basically let us know what do you believe happened to Tupac Shakur?
I believe that Tupac Shakur was murdered by U.S. intelligence. The first there was first a number of murder attempts by different people on behalf of the FBI, and then once Tupac's gang conversion movement went into effect, he was working with his extended Black Panther family to get the gangs, Bloods and Crips in particular, to call peace truces between each other in Los Angeles, and that spread throughout California and then across the country. And a lot of those gangs became more activist and also gave up drug dealing. And in doing that, he was affecting the money made by the CIA drug traffickers, along with, and even more importantly, the massive amount of money laundered by the banks and other corporations on the U.S. stock market, and that was even having more of an effect because there's estimates, according to UN inspectors, that there's between 500 billion and $1 trillion laundered in U.S. banks and U.S. stockholder corporations. And much of that laundered money is drug money. So that was having a huge effect, and that's why the CIA came into the play and just helped make sure that Tupac was murdered before he could do any more harm to their profits.
Okay. Um, Greg Kading, the officer that was actually on the Tupac Shakur case, years after his death, he actually said that the FBI was actually looking into death row records for a number of things. Why do you think that they weren't there on September 1996? On September 7th when Tupac was shot?
So I believe that the FBI was in the motorcade, according to Kathy Scott,
Yeah.
who was the top criminal reporter in Las Vegas, who said it's well known that the police had Tupac under surveillance when he was murdered. And now, according to Tupac's top bodyguard, Kevin Hackey, who was fired just before that Las Vegas night when Tupac was killed because he'd actually turned on the FBI. He was being paid by the FBI. He admitted that on film, and he turned on them, I argue, to tell Tupac not to go to Vegas that night. And he said on film, in the film Biggie and Tupac, that he had the documents to prove that the FBI agents and ATF agents were watching Tupac get murdered in his motorcade when he was murdered. So I just show all the evidence that this was part of a pattern of U.S. intelligence's attempts and then finally success in murdering Tupac Shakur because of his great activism.
Oh wow, that's interesting, and that's very interesting. There's a lot of theories out there. I'm pretty sure you've heard about them. Countless of theories ever since he actually passed away. But one of them that's very popular, and for some reason I believe it's one of the most believed theories out there, is that a lot of people actually believe that Tupac actually got, like, just like how you said right now, that somebody actually let him know that something was going to happen or whatever, and that he actually faked his death. Do you think that that's any possibility? Have you ever heard about this theory, and like, what do you think about that theory?
Of course, I've heard of it, but I just don't know that much about it, and I haven't found enough credible evidence to prove it. And sure, I wish it was true. I wish Tupac was still alive, but I haven't found enough credible evidence that he was. And the people I interviewed, his longtime political mentor and business manager for many years, Watani Tayahimba, never said that he thought Tupac was alive, and I interviewed him a number of times. And his Tupac's national lawyer,
Yeah.
Lumumba, also never told me that he thought Tupac was alive. and I interviewed him for about an hour. So yeah, sure, I wish Tupac was still alive, but I just found no credible evidence that he is. And as far as Grady Kading goes, Russell Poole was the initial investigator of the Biggie Smalls, and then by doing more of his own research, the Tupac Shakur murder, and Grady Kading came in many years after the fact, and best evidence is that he was brought in just to discredit Russell Poole and really just to cover up what was Russell Poole's findings of loads of evidence that his fellow police officers were involved in the murders of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls was murdered to cover up the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Interesting, interesting. What do you know about his aunt? I believe her name is Asada Shakur. Do you know anything about her?
Well, yeah, Sada Shakur was a close comrade of Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur. She changed her name from Joanne Chasmar when she was a Bronx Black Panther, and she was very close friends with Afeni Shakur. But she was even closer to the Minister of Information of the Bronx Black Panthers, um, who was, another Shakur, Zaid Shakur,
Yeah.
and that was the biological brother of the founder of the Harlem Black Panthers, Lumumba Shakur, who was Fanny's first husband, and Matulu was an adopted brother of theirs, and Fanny moved in with Matulu Shakur after her and Lumumba divorced.
Yeah.
But so yeah, she was of course Tupac's auntie Asada and loved Tupac, and now is a political exile in Cuba. But she was a great activist, and said to be a member of the Black Liberation Army when she was forced to go underground because she was scared for her life.
Yeah. So did she break out of prison?
Yeah, well, Matulu Shakur was put in prison, being accused of helping her break out of prison. But
Oh.
it just said that the Black Liberation Army and other activists, not it's not known if it really was Matulu Shakur that helped her break out of prison, but it is known that Black Liberation Army and other white activists helped her, break out of prison and escape to Cuba.
Oh, wow. There's a name of Tupac that is well, everybody knows that Avina Shakur changed his name, a couple of years after he was actually born to Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Well, I don't I never heard it that way, so I don't know if I believe the accounts of that. My reading from her memoir that she wrote, part of the Look for Me in the Whirlwind, was a memoir of the Panther 21 that she said about her history, and then she's said more about her history later. And so all I read that she said is that she named Tupac from birth Tupac Amaru Shakur, after naming him after the great last Incan warrior to fight off the Spanish conquistadors that colonized Latin America, the South American countries, and particularly Peru. And so that's who he was named after, Tupac Amaru, and so his name's Tupac Amaru Shakur, and I really have never known him to have a different name, so I don't believe his name was ever Lassane Crooks,
Yeah.
and I think that was made up by whomever, and even if she didn't, name him at the hospital immediately, it's just because someone at the hospital might have named him something doesn't mean anything. So
Yeah.
I don't buy the whole Lassane Crooks name. I think that's bogus. I don't believe it.
That's very interesting that you say that because I've done extensive research and I cannot, usually people name their children after, family members, at least the last
Hmm.
name, and I could not find anybody with the last name Crooks on any
Right.
side of his family.
Right.
So I think
Exactly.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you are correct in that because not even on Billy Garland's side or nobody's side.
Sure.
Okay, so is Billy Garland has to be his biological father then, right?
That's the understanding. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Okay, and then he didn't. I guess Tupac didn't meet him until he was shot the first time, right?
Yeah, he met him when Garland visited him in in the hospital. Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that that first shooting was, like a warning to him or anything like
No,
that?
I think that first shooting was a murder attempt by the FBI. I mean, all the best evidence that I lay out in my books and films. My books are The FBI War on Tupac Shakur and Black Leaders, and I made a film based on that book that's for sale on Amazon. And then I wrote the book Drugs as Weapons Against Us, the CIA's murderous targeting of SDS, Panthers, Hendrix, Lennon, Cobain, Tupac, and other activists. And now I made a film based on that that's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, etc. And so in those two, in all those works, you can find the fact that Tupac's shooting in New York, all the evidence points to that fact that it was a police setup. And for example, when the security guard at the scene offered the videotape of the gunman that shot Tupac to the police, they turned it down and closed the case. And so that and much other evidence suggests that it was just another murder attempt. And really there were about 5 murder attempts before they successfully killed Tupac. So
wow.
And they were all there's evidence for all of them being connected to U.S. intelligence.
Oh,
For example,
wow.
the Atlanta shooting at Tupac was by police officers that were supposedly off duty, but I argue they were really working, just in plain clothes.
Yeah.
And they used a gun stolen from their, evidence locker to shoot at Tupac. And so that and more evidence. And they knew exactly what room Tupac was in, immediately went to his hotel room looking for him. And he was in that room under an alias, so they shouldn't have known the exact room he was in because there was a number of rooms rented, under aliases, and they knew exactly where he was. So they had him under surveillance at that time. So.
Oh, wow.
Just some of the evidence, yeah.
Wow. Do you have a favorite Tupac song?
Holler If You Hear Me, I like a lot. I mean, I like a number of his songs, but Holler If You Hear Me happens to be one I like a lot.
Awesome, man. Do you think that you could rap it for us?
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Right on, John. That's all good, brother. We ask everybody to do that, man. And most people say, "No, we're good."
I'm not good enough. Yeah, I'm not good enough.
Yeah, it's all good, John. All right, John. We don't want to hold you up no more. We know that you're a busy man. And again, for everybody that's hearing this interview, John's book is The FBI War on Tupac Shakur and Black Leaders, and also Drugs and
Weapons Against Us. And you can find out more about them at drugsasweapons.com.
Awesome, John. Again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I've always wanted to speak to you.
Thank you.
You do not have to do this. Thank you so much, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks again, Daniel. Take care.
All right, John. You too. Bye.
Bye.
How's it going, my people? This is your boy Wired Up, and this is The Roach. Thank you for watching another episode of Wired Up TV, guys. Hope everything is well. Hope you guys got your hands on the steering wheel and keeping your eyes on the road. Now, what an interview, guys. John Potash. Guys, you guys need to pick up his books. I already put the name of the books on the channel. You can get them on Amazon. These 2 books are freaking amazing, guys. If you really want to know what I've been telling you guys about these secret agencies that are there, even though we don't see them or don't hear about them, does not mean that they're not there. They're invisible to our eyes, but they're there, and they're there to disrupt, people that have any say or anything or want any change to how the world is already. They don't want any change because there's people that control the world that want the world to stay exactly how it is. They don't want nobody to come out here and change it. Any revolutionary, any speaker. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, much love and much thanks to John Potash. You know what I'm saying? Great man. Much respect. He didn't have to do this, but he did for the love of the community. You know what I'm saying? And to get to the bottom of things. And guys, that's what we're all about. Like I always tell you guys, don't be afraid to be the loudest one in the room, the different one in the room. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of that shit. Speak up, guys. You know what I'm saying? Speak up. Be your own person. Like I always said, nobody ever got rich being a copy. You have to be original, guys, and you have to stick to your own and handle your business and be righteous. and be careful and keep your eyes open. And remember, just because your life is comfortable, you know what I'm saying, and we're living outside of where supposedly else bad things happen, don't mean that shit can't happen to us. Anything can happen to anybody at any given time, guys. And just because you cannot see certain things do not mean that it's not there. That those things are not there. You get what I'm saying? You catch my drift? I hope you do. Please pick up these 2 books, guys. You will be amazed. These are one of the 2 best books I've read, and I'm not kissing butt. I'm just being completely real and honest with y'all. If you want to know what happened to Tupac and why the government was after him, pick up these books, guys. Like always, stay positive. Keep your head up. Handle your business, guys. Don't go astray. You know what I'm saying? And always stay wired up, y'all. Peace.